Hello, we are now going to go through Transaction Desk on setting up for working with a buyer. If you haven't worked with Transaction Desk, I think you should go down here to the support, and you've got all kinds of training that you can find on how to use this, because I'm not going to go through on how to use it completely. I'm simply going to go back through and show you how to start a new transaction. We can go back to this. We're going to go to create a transaction. This one's going to be for buyer, and it will be a residential buy side. This, if we were using an MLS, we can do it with an MLS, but or you can pick it through your taxes. So we're not going to do either one of those right now, because we're just going to put it down here and just create the folder to start using it, because you may want to create this before you ever even work with the buyer, so you have it ready to go. Then you can come back in and add the transaction stuff. This would be where you would put in your information about the property. If you pick one from the MLS, a lot of this will be filled in for you. Mainly we're going to be going in and putting in the forms that you'll need for it. So you just come through it. Now we're going to go to forms. You're going to hit add. And then you're going to come up. You have a choice of Houston Association of Realtors, Texas Association, or TRAC. We're going to be using the Texas Association of Realtor forms. The very first thing in every case is going to be your information about broker services. So you want to come on down here and find that one. And this is going to be on a selling side. This is confusing to a lot of people, because if you're working with the buyer, you are now working on the selling side. If you're working with the seller, you're going to be on the listing side. Doesn't make any sense, but that's the way they do it. So you're going to click onto that. You're going to be thinking about making an offer on a property, so that would be your 1 and 4. And where did they put it? It used to be just they actually spell it out now. I liked it better when it was just a 1 and a 4. You added that. If you don't have the HOA already given to you, you would add that one too. So that would be your addendum. Subject to mandatory ownership. That's your HOA. We're going to come back in. The MUD is on the HAR, so we're going to pull everything from the HOA first. I mean, from the Texas Association of Realtors first. There are some things in here that we want to add that is information only, and one would be, well, first you want to get your buyer's representation agreement. So let's get that. It would be under residential. Buyer's representation agreement. Then we're going to add the information about insurance. General information for buyer. We're going to add that one. This listing side, we want the selling side. There's your information about buyer. You want to add the information about flood areas. And they have a listing in the buy side. You want to get inspector information added to it. If you're working with a buyer, that I would get the intermediary done simply because you may be showing one of our properties, and if you are, we have to have that information. They have to be aware that we have to disclose that information that it's an intermediary. We're going to add the non-realty to it. There is an evidence. For your protection, get an inspection. Want to do the general information? Oh, we've already got that one. Okay. Notice to prospective buyer. This is to protect your family. It's a pamphlet about lead-based. You need to know that one. You need to know about the mold. There's several in here that you wouldn't use on a regular basis, but if you special circumstances, you would. We're not going to go over that right now. You need a third party. Wire fraud. And then your home toolkit. So that looks like a lot. And in the next videos, we're going to go through each one and we're going to show you how to fill them out. So you're just going to simply add, and here's where all your forms will be.